Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Friday, January the 19th. The year's 2024. Let's talk trading. Weekly wrap up. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. Yes, I did not do a video. Here on the Pacific Northwest, there's been ice storms and the internet's been spotty. And some of you may know that I live out on a ranch in rural Oregon, and I use cellular internet, and it's been kind of flaky. So that's just one of the reasons. So hopefully you can bear with me and watch the videos that when I do put them out. So anyway, let's take a look at the week. We can see we're down 46 pips from the open. 74 off the high and 95 off the low. And if we look here at the dashboard, you can see we've got three New Zealand pairs that did not fill their gaps. We'll zoom out and look at the monthly. We're 29 pips below, now 30 pips below the monthly open. 95 off the high, 94 off the low. So we're right there at pretty much at the midpoint. We're about, and since this is January, we're 30 pips below the yearly open. So we're trying to see, and so far the monthly bar is an inside bar compared to the previous month. And we'll just have to wait and see if we break out of the range of the last month. You can see we fell below the upper wick zone and rose above the lower wick zone of the previous month. And we know price doesn't like staying in the wick zone, so and right now we're in between wick zones. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. And looking at the day, we are in the opening range for the month. We're below the opening range for the week, however. We came up and touched it, but we fell back below. In fact, we're under 2,700. We're at 126.90 right now. And once again, looking at the year, we're about 30 pips below the yearly open. And as you can see, we had an inside bar 8 days ago. We're just above that inside bar low, which was called 26.89. We actually are in the inside bar that happened, the weekly inside bar that happened 4 weeks ago. You can see we broke out of that low, but we came back. And if you look here at the dashboard, you can see on the month, there's a lot of inside bar action. A lot. But we had an inside bar on the pound monthly 11 months ago, and we're still way above that. Daily, we had red news today, I believe, but we've only had 53 pips. We only have 6 pairs over 100, so maybe they're taking a break or something, but we just don't seem to have a lot of action. And, moving price range-wise. Notice dollar yen's above 148. And here with the buy zone, you can see we triggered, but that would have been a loss here. But the sell zone could have more than made up for the loss. And it's really kind of interesting. I look at what other traders are doing. I'm always thinking, I could learn something. And today or yesterday, I received this email and they talked about dispersion. We always talk about focus. Well, kind of the opposite is they were talking about dispersion, how, spreading yourself across more than one thing, and how that works against you. It's the opposite of focus. And this guy said that, who was it? I think it was Bill Gates' dad was out to dinner with Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. He goes, hey, what do you guys attribute, what's the main thing do you attribute to your success? And Bill Gates and Warren Buffett at the exact same moment both said focus. So, you focus on one thing, just that one thing. And that's why sometimes, focusing on one pair, on one method, and you just get really good at it. And then you just keep doing it over and over until it stops working or doesn't work as well. But it's so easy to get caught up in, shiny object syndrome, which I think we've made a few videos about that. And, somebody's always reinventing the wheel out there. And I guess you could say myself included, because I look at things and I see different things. Because see, right now I'm looking at this M30 chart. And what do I see? I see a bar that made a lower low but closed above it, and if you went long, there was money to be made. And here I see a bar that made a new high, but you see that bar closed higher than the high, so that wasn't the trade. But you can see here this one made a higher high, and right now it's below the open. And so if this closes below, or rather actually it's below the high, if this closes below the high, then I would be looking to short. And I think in the other day's video I might have pointed that out. And this is even on the M30 time frame, and I usually use it on the 1 minute just to look for quick scalps. So for example, here we're at M15, higher high, closed below the high. You took a little heat, but I mean really, if you just put your stop loss maybe 1 pip or so above this high or whatever, or maybe you make it 10 pips. See, what would that be? That 91. So yeah, if you put it way up here at 101, actually being the red rat zone, you could see there was money to be made right here when this candle closed going short. There's a few pips to be had. And range is just barely large enough for the rat zone. And you can see here the red rat zone, the smart rat zone is much narrower than the default 20 pips. And same thing with the green rat zone. This is 4 pips narrower and this is 6 pips. So using the smart rat, where you use the percentiles versus just the hard 20 pips, can, once again, horizontal line pays off if you make it pay. Bambino Flex indicator said to go long, even though the day's short. Near the pivot, bias is long. Looks like that hasn't really paid out much. Near S1, bias is long. It's hit S2 twice. That definitely paid off. Oh, I got a phone call I had to take there, fellow traders. Okay, back to it. Yeah, we bounced off this S1 a couple of times. So Bambino Flex said long, and the pivot trading plan said long. And here, talking about pivots, H4 missed pivots. Where was that one missed pivot I've really been looking for? It's this one right here, this 25.83. I'm just looking for a price to hit there. We got close, but not quite. And so we've got a missed pivot this hour and missed pivot, 3 hours ago? So we got a couple more missed pivots need to be taken out on H4. As far as the daily, we took that out. We've taken out the weekly, and we've taken out the monthly for this month. Wick zone, in and out of the wick zone. Once again, price doesn't like staying in the wick zone. It just doesn't like staying in the wick zone. And notice here it says the no zone. So in and out of the top, in and out of the bottom, through the top. And then right here. And these percentages don't add up, because if you go through, it's not the same as going in and out. So these are basically crossovers. So that's why these don't add up to 100, because I was just tracking all the different things price can do. And you can see here, going along at 75, definitely would be paying off. So I guess there's a lot of buyers down here. Looking at the range for the week, 169, which beat the previous 3 weeks. And we did not break out at a high, but we broke out at a low by 77 pips. Once again, nice horizontal line trades. High minus the close for the rats, 73. The red rats, close minus low for green rats, 96. And for the weekly open crossover or buy zone traders, 28. High minus open to the upside, to the downside, open minus low, 141. So it seems like we've definitely picked up on the range for the week. Okay, and if we look here on our price action, our simple chart, looking at M30, we see with that covered, no cover, no cover. This one covered, and this one right here is just about to cover. So a lot of times if it doesn't break out, then it'll do a cover. And so here, once again, we made a lower low than the previous bar. We closed above, and then so you look for a long, and that was only worth about 5 or 6 pips or so to the upside. But once again, that's all I'm looking for in those types of trades, especially in this area. And what do I mean? You can see this is kind of a high and this is kind of a low, relatively speaking here. Well, when you're in between, you don't really have a lot of push, because the sellers have pushed down. So in this in between, 50% or anywhere from like 40% to 60% off the bottom or top there, that level, I don't look to make more than just a couple of pips, because it's so easy to get caught in a downdraft if it looks like it's going up, or updraft if it looks like it's going down. So I'd rather see it come down here and really test that low, and then look for the movement to the upside, or test the high and then come to the downside. So if you're shorting in this area, 1 or 2 pips. If you're going long, maybe 1 or 2 pips. At least that's how I do it. Once again, videos for educational purposes only. You can trade off higher lows and lower highs, which is one of the things I like to do, or look for reversal areas. Because once again, being stuck in the middle, you could take a short here, and the next thing you know, it's coming back up here, and then maybe you exit out with the profit, but you can just get stuck so many times. And that's why I say, if you look at a chart like this, a lot of times it's not enough information. You might need to scrunch it up and make sure you don't change pairs, and then you can get a better view of what the price action here. And then maybe just slightly moving it out, and you can go, okay, yeah, well, maybe I can take a short here. But you just know, so like here, you saw that area congestion and it bounced. And got 1 minute left. You can see we've only got 189 pips for the month so far. Indicator, show year-to-date accumulated. Once again, let's just show what the ATR percent is, because it's probably pretty low. Only 43. We're almost halfway there. We're halfway through the month, so not too bad. So, fellow traders, hope you had a good week, good month, good year so far. And hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, definitely subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it. And be safe out there this weekend, especially if you're in some cold, icy, rainy climate. And always remember and never forget, when you're at your trading terminal, It's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One over